here.
Here's Greg. He's sick.
Hi.
Cough for us. Our DJ, Mr. DJ.
Jazzy Jeff.
Jazzy Jeff.
Wedding. And the Fresh Prince.
And the friend.
Dmstyres. Safety crew on the scene immediately. Wow.
Lost one car here, the 29 of Lucas Lubin not making the call.
Tommy, just want to mention Brittany Myers up here on the outside of the front row. During the autograph session, go down to her car. They're going to give you a raffle ticket. They're going to give away a kid's bike tonight. So make sure you go down and get Brittany's autograph during the autograph session there in the 22 car. And at the end of the autograph session, we're going to give away a bike. So these guys bring candy, bicycles, all kinds of cool stuff. As Jay Pelche and Rodwell get together in 1 and 2, May will split the difference and make a big run down the back straightaway.
Top 6 will transfer directly to the feature out of this heat race, and now Jeremy May is among those 6 drivers as he managed to avoid that contact there. Now Jake Peltier gets going for a spin down there at turn number 4 again.
Tough break for Lucas Lubin. Not sure what ails the 29 car. He was at the driver's meeting, so it's not a late issue. He is definitely here. They bring it back through 3 and 4. Brittany Myers with one of her best runs this year, up front in the 22 car. Pulling away down the front, stretching the Leggett machine.
So Myers leading the way right now in the McDonald's of Paris and Brantford heat race number 1. Second place Cole Rodwell right now. Then is Kathy Dickey, Jeremy May, Mike Iverson, and Rob Twitchett holding down the final transfer spot in the 69. Jamie Gooch trying to chase him down in the 76.
Jay Pelche way at the back in the 84, a long way behind the lead pack of cars as they get into turn number 1. Myers up the track again. Rodwell, May, Dickey, Giberson, and Twitchett with the spots. Gooch looking to steal the 6th and final position away here.
Yeah, and Gooch is gaining on Twitchett. Now he dives it to the inside in turn number 3. A little bit slick down there though. And Twitchett, I think, is going to get the better run out of turn 4 here, but side by side for the final transfer spot at the halfway signal.
Myers with a great run here in the 22 car. She takes it down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Rodwell not able to make up too much ground on her, maybe chipping away at it slightly here, and now gets a good run out of 4. Rodwell right up the leader's tailpipe.
So Myers is going to feel some heat now from Cole Rodwell, who's right on the tail end of the 22. And now Rodwell takes it to the inside. Myers, though, with a good run out of turn number 2. She will keep the lead for now.
Myers with Rodwell to her inside corner. Rodwell slides it in on the bottom, trying to pull up around the outside. It's Myers, and she has to brake to avoid contact. 2 to go here for Brittany Myers to get it back as May comes up on the bottom side.
So getting word from the officials, the 66R in the lead now. Cole Rodwell is going to get a 2-spot penalty for being out of line on the original start of this race. So the leader still is Brittany Myers now as Jeremy May fights to the inside.
White flag out one more time around as Gooch trying to get one of these final transfer spots. He gets to the inside of Twitch at 69. And Jamie Gooch may steal one away here on the final go-round.
Yeah, and now Gooch and Twitchett both catching Mike Iverson. Meanwhile, up front, Rodwell's going to cross the line first. He's going to get dinged 2 positions. So Brittany Myers gets the heat race win. Second will be made. Then it's Cole Rodwell. Then it's Kathy Dickey, Mike Iverson, Jamie Gooch, and Rob Twitchett will be the car on the outside looking in, along with Jake Peltier. So again, Rodwell crossed the line first in that heat race, but he is getting a 2-spot penalty for being out of line on the original start. So Brittany Myers with the win in McDonald's of Paris and Brentford heat race number 1. In the 96T, it's Mike Taylor on the outside from Hamilton, the 21 of Jonathan Ayrton. Car number 2 on the inside from Woodstock, he drives the 66, it's John Jansen. On the outside from Brentford, the 05 of Dave Goodacre. Car number 3 on the inside for Caster Center in the 69E, it's Dan Erskine. On the outside from Hamilton, the 38 of John Cote. Car number 4 on the inside from Paris, the 79 of Steve Miller. On the outside for Quizlin, it's the number 10 of Laura Hughes. And bring up the tail, the number 99 from Woodstock, Robin Elliott. Again, 6 cars will transfer 8 laps of distance for heat race number 2.
Dale Shuneman with the green flags in hand. We're underway here in the second qualifying heat. Taylor and Ayrton lead them down into corner number 1.
Erskine on the inside trying to make lines down low. Cote into the back of the Goodacre 05 as they bump and bang through turns 1 and 2. Taylor and Ayrton side by side into 3.
Cote in the 3810 of Hughes, looking strong coming from the back of the field. Now troubles for Dave Goodacre up in corner number 3 in the 05. And trying to get that car looped around. We may have to go yellow here.
Cote a bit loose on the bottom of 1 and 2. We'll wait and see. Yellow comes out. Goodacre. Show up. Well, we're going to get a great treat from our drivers tonight as they all brought their hero cards. Some of them have candy. They got wicked treats. Just make your way around and see everybody you got to see here.
We're ready to get back on with Jonathan Ayrton leading the way over Mike Taylor. Coming down to the green flag. Dale Shuneman turns them loose, and we're back underway in the second qualifying heat.
Jansen's trying to get the jump on the bottom of the Taylor 96 team, and they'll make that pass going 2 for 1 into 1. Jansen's draws up on the inside of the Ayrton 21. Not enough side bite there to keep it on his lane, so he has to lift and give way to the 21 of Ayrton. Ayrton back to the high side. Jansen sticking it in on the low end.
Jansen trying to hold it down the bottom side and grab the lead off of corner number 4. Ayrton had a good run, but at the line, Jansen will lead that lap. 2 laps in, 6 to go here in the second qualifying heat. But here comes Ayrton back down to the inside.
Oh, Taylor goes around. Cote gets a piece of him. Hughes gets into Cote. Taylor will slide it up to the backstretch wall. I think they're all pretty good. The question I've got, Greg, is what's wrong with the Hughes 10? Did she get damaged? That looks like it's probably going to be a troublesome spot. How's it towed in? The right front. Yep.
Yeah, it looks like it's towed in quite a bit on the right front. We'll see how she holds onto it, but John Cote in the 38 easily catching up, and yeah, Laura realizes right off the hop. She gets into the pit area, puts the 10 into the pits to try and fix that right front, get ready for feature time.
Didn't look right coming down out of 4 that when she was on the gas. A good break for David Goodacre in the 05. He got that caution, got back rolling. Now he finds himself in the 6th and final transfer position. Jansen's leading Ayrton and Elliott. Right as they got into that melee, he was sitting back in 6th in the 99.
Jansen continues to lead with 3 laps to go. Jonathan Ayrton sitting in 2nd. Robin Elliott in the 3rd position, making a charge on the leaders. Ayrton takes a little look to the inside of Jansen, but the 66 is strong here in this heat.
Robin Elliott wheeling up on the bottom end of the 21 of Jonathan Ayrton. Steve Miller in the 79. On the back end of them, that's the top 4. Then you got 2 more for 5th and 6th. It'll be Dan Erskine and the 05 of Dave Goodacre. Elliott and Ayrton going at it for 2nd.
Side by side for the 2nd position. Elliott to the inside, yellow flag out though. And we'll resume this with a couple of laps to go.
Got the right half of the front end on the Cote 38 is up there in turn number 3. The pickup truck picking it up.
Back out, Jansen gets on a hammer, and we're back underway with 2 to go.
That was a great start for John Jansen. He caught them all sleeping, left perfect timing, and just drove away from Ayrton and Elliott. Remember, Robin Elliott drives with the hands. He's got full hand controls to drive that 99 car. Broke them all last week. They had to weld it up to get him back rolling, and I think he's comfortable with what he's got his hands on right now.
Sitting down in that low side groove in the 99. Meanwhile, up front, the white flag is out for the Jansen 66. Ayrton sitting in 2nd. Elliott right there in 3rd with Miller on the back bumper, and Goodacre's worked his way up into 5th.
That's a bit of veteran driving there by Steve Miller. Elliott scooched up and kind of pinched him up to the wall. A lesser driver might have kept his foot in it. Miller knew to back out, and they both save and keep rolling on 3rd and 4th, and there's Miller again out of 4, taking another shot on the outside of Elliott. Can't do it. Jansen's Ayrton, Elliott, Miller, Goodacre, and Taylor are your qualified top 6.
Third and final qualifying heat coming up for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks, and we'll take a look at the standings here momentarily. But
To the 7 is Jason Lagero. On the outside for Brantford, the number 5 of Rick Robinson. Our number 4 on the inside, he's your new point leader. After a victory last week from Oakland, that is Alex Schutz in the 81. On the outside, his first start here this year from St. Catharines, the number 4 of Jason Coutu. So once again, the top 6 will transfer from this. Green flag is out. 8 laps of distance for Emil's Farmer coming to race number 3.
and they all fan out down into corner number 1, 3 wide into the corner. Mike Evers here tonight in the 265. He's got the folks from Evers Financial here tonight. Want to welcome them aboard the 265. That's who you are cheering for tonight.
Jason Coutu started at the tail of this field. Not even a full lap complete, and he's fighting with Jason Lagero for the second spot now.
Now you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe after last week, Alex Schutz was mandated to add weight to the 81. Is that correct, Tom?
I believe it was. We'll have to confirm that with the officials, but that was the talk in the pit barn after the race. Doesn't seem to have affected Schutz too much right now, though, as he's got a good run trying to get around the 265 of Evers and the number 5 of Rick Robinson.
Things continue to fall apart for the former point leader, Davey Boughton, who just took the 18X into the pit area. Something didn't look right on the right front when he was out here on the white flag lap, and he seems to be shaking the car down. He is now pit side with the 18X.
So Chase Hess right now continuing to lead in this one. A pair of Mustangs up front. Jason Lagero trying to chase down the number 7X. Meanwhile, a good 3-car battle for that third spot. Mike Evers, Jason Coutu, and Alex Schutz. So yeah, we're being told that Alex Schutz and Davey Bowden both had to add 50 pounds of weight to their cars after last week.
You see the 81 Alex Schutz, he's up there in what we'd like to call the Glenn Styres line. And last week, he said late in that feature when he beat Jason Lagero, he thought, I'm going to go up in that Glenn Styres lane, because you'll remember last week, the track was pretty narrow, but there was one line way up high that Glenn had packed down in the sprint feature. Alex said he used that to his advantage to get the feature win. He's up there right now, and he's into the top 3.
Now it's Chase Hess still holding the lead over Jason Lagero. Less than 3 laps left to settle this one. Lagero is right there, though. As we come down to get the 2 to go signal this time by, it's Hess, Lagero, Schutz, Evers, Coutu, and Robinson holding down those top 6 transfer spots. Now the 7 of Lagero goes for a spin, and Chase Hess way up high in turn 2.
The top 2 may have just given this away in the same corner. Hess and Lagero have allowed Alex Schutz to catch up, and here's the white flag, a 3-car race for the win on the final lap.
Well, Lagero got shuffled out of that one as he couldn't get around the 20 within 12 of Chantal Hyatt, but Chase Hess still leading out there right now. Schutz trying to chase him down the backstretch.
One more set of corners to try and get the win. Alex tries to keep that car going straight through the corner. Chase Hess on the high side, though, has the momentum, and Chase Hess gets the win. Alex Schutz second, Jason Lagero third, Mike Evers fourth, and he'll have to go back to the 5 of Rick Robinson for fifth, Jason Coutu in the 4 will be 6th. So that wraps up the qualifying heats for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. Time for the Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars.
Greg, I just
Have the starting spot out of Tecumseh, Michigan, driving the Ohsweken Speedway Town Line Variety, Iroquois Hereford Farms, 07X's Dane Nida. At his outside out of Cheektowaga, New York, driving the Batavia Downs Casino car, number 49 is Todd Hoddick. And in the back row, in the E-Shine Car Care, car number 43, it's Scott Shirk out of Port Colborne. 9 cars, 8 laps the distance here in Renway, heat race number 1.
So here we go, underway. Keith Dempster with the early lead in this one. Mikey Krunchka takes it up to the top side, but gets loose up there. That allows Daniels and Moffit to pull out for the third spot.
Keith Dempster always looks so strong in the qualifying heats. He's got a good run here as he pulls away from this field. Meanwhile, the fight is on for 4th between Krunchka and Daniels.
The fight is on to find grip out there as well. The track slicking off for the sprint cars, and several of them got sideways up there in the first couple laps. Everybody seems to be underway now, still side by side for the third spot.
Great battle there. But Moffit, Daniels, Krutchka, 3 wide off the second corner. They come close going down into corner number 3. And here comes Dayton into the mix. He goes to the outside with 0-1 of Krutchka.
Lots of grooves out there for these guys tonight. They're searching all around, trying to find their ways around and scratch for those passing points. Here comes Daniels again to the inside of Moffit as Dempster gets a halfway single out front by a full straightaway.
Keith Dempster running away with this one. Connor Mahoney with a great run right now in that second position. Kyle Moffit third, fourth Havard Daniels, fifth Dayton, sixth Mikey Krutchka. The battle for seventh between Todd Hoddick and James Evans, and then Scott Shirk rounding out this one.
Those guys back there in the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth spots still can't get that sorted out. James Evans hard into the wall up in turn 1 and 2. The yellow flag is out.
Hard leg for James Evans up in corner number 2. And I can see James, he's climbing out of the car now, so that's a good sign. That was a hard leg for the 90 of James Evans.
It is a little bit tricky. Just want to remind everybody there is no smoking allowed in the main grandstand area. There are designated smoking areas behind the grandstands, so we ask that you respect your neighbors and smoke behind the grandstands.
Ready to go, green flag, and single file past the orange restart cone, and we're back on it. Down into corner number 1 with Keith Dempster, your leader, and Kyle Moffit sliding into the second spot.
Mikey Krutchka went for a big slide up there in turns 1 and 2. He's all the way at the back of the pack now as Moffit got around Mahoney, and he's going to try to chase down Dempster with 2 laps left.
So with 2 laps to settle it, Keith Dempster has definitely been the dominant guy in this qualifying heat. The race now is for the 3rd spot. Here comes Havard Daniels. He's looking very racy tonight. And this is the type of run that Havard needs.
Yeah, he's really having a good run right now. He's got the wing pulled back as far as it'll go to get some grip on the rear wheels. Meanwhile, out front, Dempster's going to get the win. Second will be Moffit. Then it's Daniels, Nida, Mahoney, Hoddick, Krutchka, and Shirk.
So your winner of Renway Energy Heat Race number 1 out of Holton, Ontario. Speedway Renway Energy Aero Express car number 5 is Keith Dempster. Second qualifying heat brought to you by the Burger Barn. Starting on the pole out of Lewiston, New York, driving the G&J Contracting car number 81 is Derek Jonathan. And his outside out of Brantford, Ontario, driving the
Number 33K, it's Kyle Patrick. And his outside will be the 94 of Stan Zenkit.
So the second and third place and fourth place drivers in points in this race, Glenn Styres, Jamie Collard, and Mitch Brown. The current point leader, Jim Hoopinen, still to come in the third heat race. 3 drivers in this one who've got feature wins here this year, Kyle Patrick, Glenn Styres, and Jamie Collard.
Awfully slow pace here as Derek Jonathan gets on it. Brown to his outside, and they almost look for some traction in 1 and 2. Not much to be had.
Brown usually likes to hang out on the bottom side, but right now he's right up on the cushion in that number 10 car. Stan Zanchin goes for a spin up in turns 3 and 4. He puts it underway and we stay green flag.
Glenn Styres uncharacteristically on the bottom through this one as the track really slick in the early going here. Turner now to the bottom, trying to put a move on Derek Jonathan.
So Mitch Brown still out front, 3 wide for the third spot. Glenn Styres on the bottom puts the slide job on Jamie Turner, and now gains another spot around the 81 of Derek Jonathan.
Styres to the inside of Shane Ross, trying to get him out of the top spot for the battle on Mitch Brown, but can't do it just yet as Shane Ross holds tight.
Brown way out front of this one. Second is Shane Ross. Third, Glenn Styres, but he's now to the inside of Ross trying to take that one away. halfway, 4 laps in, 4 to go.
Styres gets the move here, taking Ross. Zankin with trouble up in turn 4. He gets it straightened out, but it's Mitch Brown way out front of Styres and Ross.
So Brown still out front of this one, but Glenn Styres has eaten a little bit into that lead. He's going to have a lot of work to do to try to gain with only 2 laps left to go, though.
Going to be a dry, slick one for these guys this evening. 2 to go for Mitch Brown. Up front, Glenn Styres trying to reel him in, but going to run out of time, I think. Now Ross having to hold off Kyle Patrick.
And Patrick to the inside of Ross now takes away the 3rd spot. Brown gets the white flag. 1 lap to go for him. Styres 2nd. Patrick now up to 3rd.
Mitch Brown will have this one in hand unless problems arise in the last couple of 100 feet. Not going to do it. Brown will get it here in the number 10. Styres 2nd. Kyle Patrick will be 3rd. Shane Ross 4th, and the battle for 5th will be won by Jamie Turner by a nose at the line over Jonathan, Collard, and Zankin.
So your winner of Burger Barn Heat Race number 2 out of Brantford, Ontario, the ProFit Health Club Hoddick Brakes Brown Auto Service car number 10. It's Mitch Brown. And Mitch Brown last Saturday night down the Brighton Speedway led the first 16 laps of the feature. Lap traffic and a late race yellow flag allowed Chris Jones to catch back up. And Chris got by Mitch with 4 laps to go, claimed the victory. And a bit of redemption for him down there at Brighton as Jamie Collard had beat him by 1/100th of a second last time out there. And Chris held on Jamie Collard for the win last Saturday night. So Mitch free in the Malabar Super Spice. Watered down Canadian Tire car number 10J. It's Jeremy Hughes. And his outside out of Salamanca, New York. In the bundle of warmth, Zimbardi Electric car number 35. It's the Juice, Jared Zimbardi. In the back row, starting 7th out of Elmer, Ontario, in the RPM Designs car number 30G, it's Steve Goldner. And his outside out of St. Thomas, Ontario, on the flag swipe paintball, OK Tire London South, car number 52 is Jesse Costa. So being told that this is the first time in the new chassis for Chris Steele, had too much damage on the other car. So we'll see what the new number 80 will do for Chris Steele. Yeah, Clinton just pointing out over the two-way radio, a bit of a different paint scheme on the body panels. A blue for Chris Steele here as he's mix and matching, trying to get a good run here this evening. So Chris Steele, Jim Hoopinen on the front row. The Doctor, Steve Collins, along with Tom Hoopinen in row number 2. Jeremy Hughes, Jared Zimbardi, row 3. And then Steve Goldner and Jesse Costa, row number 4. Third and final qualifying heat brought to you by O'Neill Farm Equipment. Green flag goes in the air.
So side by side for the lead, and now almost 3 wide. Steve Collins up in there. Hoopinen has the lead for now, but Steele and Collins right there, and here comes Jared Zimbardi as well.
Collins goes to the outside, the real deal. Chris Steele, as they go into corner number 1, Steele very strong on the bottom though, and Collins cannot capture the second spot.
Collins has worked hard here trying to get around Steele, but hasn't been able to do it yet. Gets a good run on turn 4, but Steele gets a better one and holds on to that second spot.
Jim Hoopinen continuing to lead. Collins washes up off the berm there in corner number 2. That opens the door for the Juice, and this man is racking up passing points, working on second place.
And Zimbardi has got feature wins here in our weekend before, and he's trying to get up into that redraw now. Solidly into second place now is Zimbardi, and trying to chase down Hoopinen.
Cross flags are out for Jim Hoopinen. Zimbardi sitting in second. He's come from the 6th starting spot. And I think if he's able to get by Jim Hoopinen, that may give him the Top Gun award. I don't know if as though anyone else has made that many moves.
Definitely not for a heat race win, that's for sure. And winning the heat race does pay some extra points as well. He's now to the inside of Hoopinen. Can't get it done that time, but Zimbardi, the fastest car on the track right now.
This time by 2 laps to go, the Juice gets the lead, but here comes Hoopinen back down to the inside.
Hoopinen pulled the crossover move out of turn 4. Zimbardi up to the top, slides up high, and now Hoopinen's got the lead again.
Zimbardi staying strong up on the top, hooping it down on the inside. White flag is out. Who's it going to be for the final lap?
Hooping and squeeze Zimbardi up to the wall there. Zimbardi with a better run out of corner 2 that time, but Hoopin maintains the lead.
Here comes the Juice on the high side. Hooping it on the bottom, coming down to the checkered flag. Who's going to get it? The Juice is going to grab it at the line. Jared Zimbardi gets the win. Jim Hoopin second. Chris Steele will be third. Steve Collins fourth. Fifth will be Tom Hoopin. Sixth will go to Jeremy Hughes. And then Jesse Costa and Steve Goldner will wrap it up. So there's your winner in the bundle of warmth. Zimbardi Electric, car number 35, it's the Juice. Jared Zimbardi started 6th, wins the heat. He could very well be our Nathan Ackland State Farm Top Gun Award winner for the most passing points. We'll find out at intermission, but a great run by the Juice. Time for the Bombers to head out onto the Speedway to the infield oval for their first of 2 qualifying heats. The group Mike Evers drives in the mini stocks, always brings a lot of fans with him. We want to welcome everyone from Evers Financial and hope you have a fun night at the track. First qualifying heat, Tommy Goods with the lineup.
Thank you very much, Greg. Starting on the pole of this one, the 03D of Dakota Potts. On the outside, the 43 of Clinton Nichols. Row number 2 on the inside, the 36 of Skip Brando. Then it's the 66 of Ricky Longboat, the 32 of Julian Hills, and the number 21 of Mark Design. And the green flag is out 6 laps of distance on this one.
So Brady Longboat in the 66 and Mark Design. Both, Brady Longboat trying to find his way back towards the front of the point standings in the Clobber division. He was up there to start the season, but it drifted here last year.
Longboat had some trouble in last week's feature, but right now he's in that fight for the lead. Dakota Potts lines up by in turn 4. Design in the middle, and here comes Longboat to the inside. He got the lead at the line.
And the 21, of course, remember a few weeks ago, was over on its lid. They would get that car going again, so they just got by the Design through. Longboat, your leader, at the halfway mark. Design in the second spot.
So Longboat the leader, Design second, then it's Clinton Nichols, Julian Hills, and Dakota Potts. Not starting this race with 36 of Brando. 2 laps left to go now for your leader, Longboat, but here comes Design.
Told over the radio that the leader of this qualifying heat, Brady Longboat, was in Rob Disher's car during hot laps. Maybe take a look at what a Thunderstock might feel like. A lot of these drivers make their move out of the Bombers into other divisions. We've seen it. Brady Longboat, 1 lap away from another checkered flag. Here's the Gales on the lap of the Bombers.
So Longboat heads through corners 3 and 4 the final time, and Longboat will get the heat race win. Second is Design, third is Nichols, fourth is Julian Hills, and then Dakota Potts. Heat race number 2 for the Gales, Burnham. On the outside of row number 1, the number 6 of Wade Thorne. Row number 2 on the inside, the number 9 of Tim DeBoer. On the outside, the number 97 of Max Cheechok. Row number 3 on the inside, it's the 23 of Dusty DeBoer. He's your current points leader. Right next to him, just 1 point back of the points lead, it's the 88 of Jesse McDonald. And we will work to get a name for the number 199. A late entry here tonight. 6 laps the distance on this one. Here we go for heat race number 2.
Green flag out, or final qualifying heat for the Gales Auto Aftermarket Bombers. Tim DeBoer in the 9 gets down to the inside. Here comes Max Cheechok as they go 3 wide down the back stretch.
All the point leaders up in this one. Max Cheechok has the edge right now as he takes the lead at the completion of lap number 1.
Cheechok is the 97. Runner-up in the standings last year, Jesse McDonald and the DeBoers right behind in second, third, and fourth. Dusty DeBoer in the 23. Here he comes to the inside. He is the new point leader after last week.
DeBoer to the inside, couldn't find any grip there. And McDonald will maintain the second spot. Pretty dry down on the inside right now.
3 and 3 to go here in this final qualifying for the Bombers. Dusty DeBoer gets by. Jesse McDonald sets his sights now on the leader, Max Cheechok. 2 to go for the lead.
So Cheechok has 2 to go. DeBoer is going to have to work hard if he wants to try to catch up here. Good fight for that third spot. McDonald and Tim DeBoer going at it.
White flag is up one more time around for Max Cheektowaga in the 97. Dustin DeBoer second. Jensen Thomas third. Tim DeBoer. Right now, fourth. Wade Thorne in fifth. Final time around for Max Cheektowaga.
Comes out of turn 4 the final time, and he will get the heat race win. Second will be Dustin DeBoer. Then it's Justin McDonald, Tim DeBoer, Wade Thorne, the 199 car, and the 14 of Gerald Burnham. The top 5 finishers from each heat race will transfer directly to the feature. Everybody else will head to the B main. First heat race brought to you by Aero Express. The lineup looks like this. Starting on the pole from Brantford, the 911 of Nick Liverance. On the outside, the number 4 from Jarvis is Dale Jacari. Row number 2 on the inside from Oshwegan, the 00 of Robbie General. On the outside from Grimsby, the 17 of Rob Disher. Row number 3 on the inside from Caledonia, the 77 of Brett Rodwell. On the outside from Hamilton, the 57 of Murray Nichols. Then it's the 777X of Steve Hess from Oshwegan. Also from Oshwegan, the 38 of Terry Martin, and also from Oshwegan, the 68 of Aaron Turkey. So 9 cars, 1 car not starting this one. As we get set to go 8 laps of distance.
Top 5 going to qualify, correct, Tommy?
Top 5 will qualify, and we're hearing that the 77 of Rodwell is going to get docked 2 positions for being out of line on that start.
That's going to cost him 4. So basically, 77 Rodwell is going to need to win this qualifying race to stay qualified. If he finishes second, he'll be docked 4 positions. That'll put him back to 6. So he's got to stay right up front there ahead of Disher and Martin.
So Rodwell out front right now. Disher second, Martin third, then Hess. Then it's side by side for that 5th spot between Jacari and Nick Liverance.
Out of 4 comes Rodwell, your leader, with the penalty ensuing on the next caution or the finish, whatever should come first. Terry Martin sliding up in front of Disher, with Hess coming to the bottom of Disher now out of 2.
Almost 3 wide they were just a minute ago out of turn number 2, and again up in 3 and 4. Hess now to the bottom, Disher in the middle, and Terry Martin on the outside for that 2nd spot.
You know, Tommy, down at Maryville, where all the those are the Monte Carlo Malibus. They're all Camaros down there. We only have 1 Camaro in this race. They're wondering where the metric cars are. They're here on a weekend on a Friday night.
Yeah, Rodwell right now doing what he needs to do in front of this one. He is going to get docked in positions at the end of this race. Halfway and 4 laps in, 4 to go.
So right now, Hess is our official leader in the 777X, but he's got company on the bottom. Is there 3 wide out of 2 again? Disher and Martin coming together with Hess on the bottom.
So Rodwell still out front. Martin, Hess, and Disher effectively going at it for this heat race win, unless there's a caution flag before that.
Couple on the back straight. Rob General in the 00. He slows up. Now they come back into 3 and 4. It is your leader, Rodwell, still up front in the 77. He's got 2 to go.
So Rodwell still out front, second. Technically the battle for the lead out there. Steve Hess and Terry Martin going at it as Disher has fallen back just a bit. Then it's Aaron Turkey. And now Dale Jacari goes for a spin and collects the 911 of Liverance.
And we've got all kinds of debris up there in turn 2. Liverance smoking heavily out of the left front of the 911. Flag is out. Trouble for Dick Liverance as he pulls on the infield here with part of his nose missing. That's what Dustin's carrying through the infield there. Smoking heavily on the front end. Probably punched out the round in the 911 with the contact with Jacari. They come around here. Terry Martin's the leader. Rodwell back into 3rd spot. And here we go. Ready for the jump.
Green and white out together, just 1 lap left to settle this one. And 1 car, several cars not going to make it here, just the top 5 transferring. So So Dale Jacari and Robbie Jim will have some work to do. Meanwhile, up front, Terry Martin is feeling the heat from Steve Hess.
Almost 3 wide there for the lead as Martin, Hess, and Rodwell come together at the checkers. It'll be Martin, Rodwell, Hess, Disher, and Turkey. You're qualified 5.
So Terry Martin starts 8th and finishes 1st in heat race number 1, brought to you by Aero Express. We have Jack Myers on the outside of row number 1, the number 10 from Brantford. It's Jake Brown. Row number 2 on the inside from Keister Center, driving the number 19, it's Corey Turner. On the outside from Caledonia, the number 44 of Kevin Dawson. Row number 3 on the inside, the 84 RK of Ryan Beagle. He's from Victoria. On the outside, the 81 from Dundas is Carl Salt. Row number 4 on the inside from Port Colborne, it's the number 11R of Bryce Richardson. On the outside from Keister Center, the 28 of Jim Lampman. Again, the top 5 will transfer from this heat race. Everybody else will go to our B main.
All right, getting set to roll, rolling right through Thunderstock qualifying. Hustling up. Hopefully the weather's going to pass us by over in turn 2. Getting set to roll. Myers on the inside. Here they come around to the green. Really slow. Now they get on the loud pedal. Jake Brown on the outside getting the jump on the Myers 33.
Corey Turner jumps down to the inside groove, hoping to get an advantage there, but it's Myers and Brown pulling out the top 2 positions. Here comes Turner with a head of steam down into corner number 3.
Corey Turner back behind the wheel. The 19 had issues there a couple weeks ago. Got the car repaired. Coming back at it. Myers, multi-time feature winner last year. Back to the front now in 2013.
Myers on the high side of the 33. 19 Corey Turner down on the bottom group. He lost the point lead last week, so he's looking to get some business taken care of this week and get back to the top of the pile in car number 19. Going down 2 laps, complete 6 to go.
Contact there with Richardson and Beagle at the back, at the front, Turner on the bottom, Myers on the top. Salt coming through the middle of the pack in the 81 car, and he's underneath Brown.
Down to complete lap number 3. Jack Myers continuing strong on that outside line. Now Myers last year dominated for a good part of the season. Hasn't had the same luck this year, but he's looking strong here in this qualifying heat.
3 wide, remember only taking 5 out of this one. It's Myers, Turner, Salt, the top 3 in there. Then you got Brown, the battle for 5th is Landman, Richardson, Dawson, and Beagle. One of them will get through.
As they continue on, it's side by side for the lead and side by side for the 4th position between Jake Brown and Jim Lampman. Carl Salt right now sitting in that 3rd position, trying to work on the top 2.
Only 5, and Lampman slowly gets away from the 6th, 7th, and 8th place cars. In that number 28 machine, puts himself into 5th. Up front, though, 3 of them going at it out of 2. Turner, Salt, and Myers.
Going down, it'll be the 2 to go signal. Salt gets around the 19 of Corey Turner, down to the inside of the 33 of Jack Myers. 81 cars been so strong this year. He looks for a move down to the inside to grab the lead.
Salt working on the bottom, gets the lead and drives away from the Myers 33. Turner back there in 3rd. 4th is Brown. 5th is Lampman.
White flag coming up this time by from Carl Salt, your new leader. Jack Myers sitting in 2nd. Corey Turner back to 3rd. Jake Brown in 4th, and Jim Lampman in the 5th position.
Last time down the back straightaway goes your leader, Carl Salt, in the Miska Trailer Factory, 81. Turner coming up on the bottom, trying to get that position away from Jack Myers. Can't do it, or will he? Yeah, he will. Turner gets it ahead of Myers. Jake Brown and the 11 of Richardson getting in there ahead of Landman, so says the scoreboard.
On the inside, the number 2 from Caledonia, it's Lee Winger. Also from Caledonia, bringing up the tail, it's your defending champion in the 55, Mike Thorne. So 8 cars, 8 laps of distance. Again, the top 5 will transfer from O'Neill's Farm Equipment, heat race number 3. And here we go. Green flag is out. A very slow pace to start this one. And Quinn with the early lead, 3 and 4 wide through the pack. Here comes Mike Graham, Quinn's teammate, to the inside in turn number 3.
Winger trying to make moves way around the outside of the back, following Mike Thorne up through the middle. Now Thorne to the inside.
Yeah, Thorne started at the tail of this heat race. 1 lap in the books. He's fighting for the lead now on the inside of Graham. Sean Quinn goes for a spin up in turn number 2. He keeps it going, and we stay green. 3 wide now for the lead at turn 3.
Thorne going to take that away, and he will drive away from the Graham 48 down the front straightaway. Thorne, the defending champ, back up front, the winger working on the bottom again in the number 2.
Trunkman working its way loose on the 48 of Graham. Right now he's got bigger things to worry about. The number 2 of Lee Winger gets by on the inside. Here comes Dinning as well.
Thorne just hard pushing that 55 right up to the outside. Winger in the number 2. Back in second place. They work it around into one. Who's in the 85 tonight again, Tommy?
Ryan Dinning in the 85B tonight. He's up in that 3rd spot. Dave Bailey now fighting for 4th with Graham.
Out of 4 comes Thorne, your leader. Lee Winger, 2nd. Ryan Dinning. Then Mike Miller and Graham, the top 5 as they go here through this one. Halfway through, 4 still to go.
Now Bailey has gotten clear of the 48 of Graham. Got to the inside of Dinning the last time through corner 2. Couldn't get a good run off the bottom. Now he's got a good run at turn 4 though.
Bailey and Dinning. Dinning won this race last week by a huge margin. Got disqualified for some technical infractions as they work around the outside. Dinning losing the handle on the top side. He'll stay qualified though.
Right now it's Thorne by about half a straightaway over Winger. Last time by Thorne at a 20.363 on the stopwatch. 2 laps left to go for your defending champion in the 55.
Thorne with a big margin out front of Lee Winger in the O'Neills. Big Moose Fishing number 2. Winger drives it up the track. Bailey holds on to 3rd, then Dinning and Graham. One final time around, 1 and 2 goes the leader, Mike Thorne.
Thorne has a good smooth liner on the top side in that 55. And through corners 3 and 4 the final time, Thorne will come around and get the win in O'Neill's Farm Equipment heat race number 3. 2nd will be Lee Winger. Then it's Dave Bailey, Ryan Dinning, and Mike Graham, the top 5 transfer cars. Blaine Merrill, Melissa Miller, and Sean Quinn will go to the B lane. Fourth and final of Dave Silverthorne Jr. Row number 4 on the inside from Dunville, driving the number 29, it is Jim Gracie. And on the outside from Hagersville, it's the 85H of Brad Bacher. So again, 8 cars, 8 laps of distance, and the top 5 will transfer. So these are some of the best cars over the last 3 weeks in our Thunderstock division. The handicapping puts all the good cars in the 4th and final heat race. Here we go.
So Ryan Turner on the inside, Brad Heron up on the outside. The Lightning flashes for the Thunderstocks as they rip down through 1 and 2. Good battle, Heron on the top side, Turner on the bottom.
Yeah, Heron and Turner side by side for the lead. We're hearing the officials talk about possible penalties coming up here. We'll see how that shakes out.
Heron around the front side of the Turner 91, Dickey, Miller, and the 5 of Silverthorne, the 9 of Silverthorne in the number 5 spot.
Silverthorne has got that 4th and 5th and final transfer spot right now. He's looking for more though, right on the tail end of that battle for 3rd between Dickey and Mike Miller. And now Dickey slides up in front of the 73. Silverthorne trying to get down to the bottom side. That didn't work out too well.
Silverthorne lost to Hamlin 1 and 2, and now he'll find himself in a battle for 5th. Up front, it's Heron, Ryan Turner, Dickey, and Miller in the top 4, looking for the 5th place car. This time it's Silverthorne at the line.
So Brad Heron out front of this one in the number 12. Ryan Turner feeling all kinds of heat from the number 1 of Chris Dickey. Now Brad Bacher goes for a spin in the 85H. He keeps it underway and will stay green flag racing. Still side by side for that 2nd spot.
Bacher loses the handle. He will have to get going again. We bring it around. It's Heron with the one of Chris Dickey now. Grabbing second, and he'll chase down the leader. Ryan Turner back to third. Oh, trouble for Wyatt Van Wert. He goes around and gets going. Will not lose a qualifying position because he wasn't in one, but puts himself farther out of the feature.
And Wyatt Van Wert is a driver who's got a feature win here this year, so at least one feature winner going to be in that B main later on tonight. The top 5 cars have strung themselves out from the rest of the field.
All single file inside the top 5. That brings us to lap number 6 with 2 to go. And it's still Brad Heron in the number 12 out front. Dickey running second. Turn in the third spot. Miller and Silverthorne. All 5 untouched right now. Just got to keep it straight with no mistakes for 1.5 more.
So Heron out front. Dickey is making some ground up in that bottom to middle groove there. Gets it a little bit sideways out of corner 4, and that costs him some distance. So white flag in the air for Heron.
Brad Heron around 1 and 2. Last time on the backstretch. Chris Dickey to reel up to the leader. Back there, the battle for third. Miller on the outside, and Turner now as they get to 3 and 4. Miller jumps the cushion. Got to keep it straight.
So Brad Heron gets the win. Second is Dickey. Third at the line will be Ryan Turner. Then Mike Miller and Dave Silverthorne Jr. Those will be your top 5 transfer cars. Jim Gracie, Brad Bacher, and Wyatt Van Wert will head to the B main. So that'll do it for our Thunderstock qualifying heat to our feature race. So 2 cars are going to be on the outside looking in at the end of this B main. 10 laps will be the distance.
All right, here we go.
So here we go, 10 laps of distance. And 3 wide already for the lead. Lucas Lubin down there in the 29. Didn't get to start his heat race. He's up there on the inside of Rob Twitchett for that first spot now.
Someone's car did not sound healthy, Tommy, as they got through 1 and 2. Popping and banging all the way around. Maybe it's the Erskine 69. He looks slow in 3 and 4. Somebody definitely had ignition issues.
Yeah, I thought might have been the 96T of Taylor, but he seems to be under power now. 3 wide for that 4th spot. Davey Boughton out there, as well as Mike Taylor and Jade Peltier in that one as well. Right now, Dan Erskine and Chantal Hyatt, the 2 cars on the outside.
Hard to tell. I hear the backfire, but can't see anybody backfiring. No flames coming out the tailpipe. But I think it is the Erskine. Yeah, it is the Erskine 69, and he will wheel it down in the infield. Tough break for Dan Erskine. He is not going to get into the feature event tonight. He's more or less done.
Yeah, Dan Erskine up in the top 10 in the point standings, so that's going to open the door for some movement in the point standings after this night. Lubin out front in the number 29.
Not sure what's wrong with Lucas Lubin's 29 car. Did not take a qualifying heat race. Had to go right to the consolation, and he's out front pulling away here in that number 29. Canadian Heroes machine. Out front of Laura Hughes and Davey Boughton. Another guy who you don't normally expect to see in the Consi. Multi-time feature winner in 2013.
We do have a note on the Lucas Lubin machine that we'll make after this race is over. And he's got the lead right now in this one. He'll get the halfway signal next time by. Here comes Davey Boughton chasing down Laura Hughes now for that 2nd spot.
That's not much of a worry, though, as they are clearly in the show if they can finish there. Then you got Mike Taylor and Rob Twitchett. The last place car qualifying as they run right now is the 85 of Jade Peltier. And we are halfway through this one. 5 in, 5 to go still for Lucas Lubin.
So Lubin out front, but Hughes and Boughton, I think, are both catching up right now. As they try to chase down that battle for the lead, they'll have 4 laps left to do it this time by.
Peltier again comes around turn 4 in the 84, 6th and final transfer car into the feature event for this evening's main for the mini stocks. Lucas Lubin and Laura Hughes leading Davey Boughton the top 3. Then you got Mike Taylor, Twitchett, and in the 6th place, Jade Peltier with only a few more to go.
So Peltier looking to get into one of her first features here this weekend in that 84. Just jumped in a few weeks ago. Hughes, meanwhile, still chasing down the 29 of Lubin. 3 neons at the front of this field.
Lubin out front has come out green out of this one. Fresh into the division, kind of came out of nowhere. I'm not sure of his experience, Tommy, not heard of him at least on the dirt. And looking very good as a freshman here in this division.
Definitely doing a good job out there right now, running that middle groove. Hughes and Bowden are right there as they'll get the white flag this time by, and now Hughes dives into the bottom. That didn't work out too well. Here comes Bowden around the outside.
Bowden up to the top here on the Hughes number 10 as they get through 1 and 2. Lubin with the lead, but he's got 2 of them hustling up the back door.
So Lubin still holding the lead. Here comes Bowden out to the outside in turn 4. This one's going to be a drag race to the line. Who's going to get it? It will be Lubin at the line. Then it's Davey Bowden, Laura Hughes, Mike Taylor, Rob Twitchett, and Jade Peltier. And then Chantal Hyatt as she comes around. She will be the home car in case anyone can't start this race. We do want to mention Lucas Lubin wanted to give a shout out tonight to Rachel Porter. She is the widow of Captain Steve Leary, who is on the hood of the Canadian Heroes number 29.
Auto Aftermarket Bomber Division. 12 laps will be the distance in this feature event, our first of the evening. Here on Jones Brown Motorsport Insurance Night, also brought to you by the Evers Financial Group. I want to thank them for their support of tonight's program. Tommy Goods with the starting lineup.
So this one will be 12 laps in distance, starting on the pole, the 03D of Dakota Potts. On the outside, the 43C of Clinton Nichols. Run number 2 on the inside, the 36 of Skip Brando. Then it's the 66 of Brady Longboat. Run number 3 on the inside, the 32 of Jillian Hills. On the outside, the 21 of Mark Bazine. Run number 4 on the inside, the 14 of Gerald Burnham. On the outside, the 6 of Wade Thorne. Then it's the 9 of Tim DeBoer, the 97 of Max Cheechuk, the 23 of Dusty DeBoer, the 88 of Jesse McDonald, and the 199 of Frank Turkey Jr. So here we go, 13 cars set for 12 laps in the Gales Auto Aftermarket feature event.
Green and green down in the corner number 1. A lot of beating and banging going on, though, and the point leader right now last place. He's got a lot of work to do to get towards the front as they all stack up in corner number 4.
Well, the point leader just gained about 5 spots there by keeping his nose clean in that one, and now DeBoer in the 23 is up into the 6th spot. Meanwhile, up front, Brady Longboat has the lead in the 66.
Longboat continues to hold on to it. 2 laps in, 10 to go here in the first feature race of the evening. Wade Thorne now working on the back of the 43 for the second position.
So Longboat continues to lead out there. Clinton Nichols still second in the 43. Then it's Wade Thorne in the number 6. Fourth is in the 88 of Jesse McDonald. And 5th, the number 9 of Tim DeBoer. Single file, the top 6, in fact. Max Cheechuk and Mark Bazine get together down there in turn 3 and 4.
Brady Longboat continues to lead this one, and Nichols with problems. He'll give up second spot, and they'll all freight train by. Then a bit of contact between the 88 and the 9 since the 9 up in the air.
I think the 9 of DeBoer actually got that infield implement tire up there. Meanwhile, the 14 of Gerald Burnham has problems down the back straightaway. Contact again, Wade Thorne into the back of the number 9 of Tim DeBoer. He backs off and we stay green flag racing.
Brady Longboat checking out right now on second place, Jesse McDonald. Black flag out for Clinton Nichols.
He's got a flat right front tire, so Nichols has to take that one to the pits. Dusty DeBoer now gets clear of Tim DeBoer for the second spot. He's got a long way to go to try to chase down the 66 of Longboat, though.
Jesse McDonald's got a right front flat. The officials warned him, but he is, now he'll get the black flag. He's not able to keep up his 8 speed. So a big hit with Jesse McDonald down the corner.
Yeah, he came into this night just 1 point out of the lead. Meanwhile, Dusty DeBoer's got a couple of lap cars between himself and Brady Longboat, and only 3 laps left to go to try to chase him down.
DeBoer cuts down the inside of Potts, and now we'll have clear sailing towards the leader with 2 laps to go. And the Potts gets right into Dusty DeBoer, rolls him over. Wow, that was a hard lick by Dusty DeBoer. Took a shot in the left rear, and that sent the car up and over.
And race director Doug Leonard coming over the one-way radio telling the 03D to head straight to the pit area for that. So the 03D of Dakota Potts will head to the pit area after that exchange.
Well, Greg, I can tell you, DeBoer is okay here. They're trying to get him out. He's got his helmet off inside the car. They're working just to get him out. It's a bit tough here in these tight little compact cars. I can see he is on his hands and knees crawling out of the window now. So DeBoer is okay. And here he comes out on the grandstand side, which would be the passenger side normally. There he comes, DeBoer out. How about it, folks? He's all right. And Dakota Potts sent to the pits for rough driving. And there he gives a wave to the crowd. He's all right. Good to see. He will have to take the mandatory timeout back in the pit area, and he'll work on rolling his car back.
So we're set to go. Just 3 laps left to go in this one. Brady Longboat out front in the 66. Here comes Tim DeBoer, gets around the lap machine of Cheektowaga already. And DeBoer now right on the back end of Longboat.
So Longboat holding on over Tim DeBoer, the third place point driver, sitting in the second spot. Coming down, it's 2 to go for Brady Longboat. And we're going to go yellow on the speedway for that. All right, folks, get safe.